Guys, our next guest is one of the most legendary and iconic fighters in MMA. He captured the UFC middleweight belt and also our imagination as he entered the Matrix and delivered some of the craziest knockouts in history. He now takes on Tito Ortiz at the Triller Fight Club on September 11th at the Staples Center in LA. Anderson the Spider Silva, welcome for the first time to Submission Radio. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you for everybody watching us, and thank you for the time. Thanks for the opportunity too.
The pleasure is all ours, man. What an honor. So before we talk about this Tito fight, help us understand how we even got there. You obviously came off the great win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. back in June, and then the talk soon afterwards that you may be facing Logan Paul next. Now you got Tito. Why exactly didn't the Logan Paul fight come together, Anderson?
Well, that everything is possible. Is there a lot of people talking about this fight with Logan, and I think it's a good, because Logan is a very good guy. He's a very entertaining. Is smart, and Paul Brothers is very good guys. Is a very smart guys and doing something good for us. Is a entertaining show, and we'll see. Everything is possible. Is this is the everybody like to say, oh, I fight with Logan Paul, or Jake Paul, blah blah blah. I mean, I training hard every day, and I'm training to challenge myself. And this fight coming, I accept and I go enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, man, how did Tito even come into the picture? I mean, was he someone that you wanted to fight? Was he someone that was sort of a person that you were hoping to possibly fight in your MMA career and you didn't get a chance to, so now we're here? How did you end up fighting him now?
I mean, I I don't think I have somebody else I like to fight. I think everything is possible. I just waiting for the new opportunity. My focus now is just for Tito Ortiz and waiting for the next challenge. And that fight come to me and in a good moment. I'm in a home, I training, and the fight club call me and say, "Hey, what's up, partner? You ready for that?" I say, I mean, yeah, it's a good fight. It's a very interesting, and it's a good entertaining because Chito is a big name. I have a good name too, and especially here in LA, I never fight here in my city right now, and I'm very exciting. It's my first fight here in LA. It's the first fight I fought here, and to my my fans in here in LA. I'm very exciting. And my dream to fight in Staples Center too.
Yeah, I know. How crazy is that? In the Staples Center. This is the thing. You and Tito, you're both icons of MMA. You're both champions and both legends. And neither one is kind of trying to build a name off of each other. Are these the kind of fights that you would have sort of rathered have at the end of your UFC run, fighting a fellow legend? The UFC never does these legend versus legend fights. I mean, they're doing Robbie Lawler versus Nick Diaz, but it's very rare that they do legends and legends. Would you have rathered to fight legends at the end of your UFC run instead of these young and up-and-coming guys like, say, Uriah Hall, Jared Cannonier, and Israel Adesanya, who are obviously trying to make a name for themselves off of you?
Well, it's a different games, a different sport. UFC is a different game. As you in UFC, you have the different fighters for different levels. And yeah, every single fighter in UFC have your personal time. And when this time pass, you need out. You need out because the game has changed. For fight in UFC, the same level, Cannonier in Israel Adesanya and the other guys, it's insane. You can fight, I can fight, yes, but it's different. It's different level, it's different time. And I think the guys have a good time right now, and the guys need to enjoy this game and take everything possible. And when you pass your time, stay ready for the next challenge and the next level in your personal life, you know.
And you had so many great moments in your UFC run. I want to talk about those in a second, but before I do, when you think back to being to your run in the UFC and now being in boxing, does a part of you kind of wish that you went to boxing earlier? I know you always spoke about wanting to fight like Roy Jones Jr. in a boxing match back in the day, but now that you're in boxing now, do you kind of wish you'd made the crossover earlier, maybe even earlier in your career?
Well, I practiced boxing for many years. You know, I'm fight amateur boxing in Brazil. I fight professional 2 times in Brazil. Of course, not the same level I fight with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. You know, but boxing stay with me in my entire life. You know, and of course, I take the great opportunity in the past and enjoy and continue working hard. Of course, I'm in the different level right now. Probably I fight only boxing, but I think I take the good decision for fight Muay Thai and fight MMA. You know.
As in, like, you're happy with your decision that you did Muay Thai and then MMA and now boxing. That's what
Yeah.
you said? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like switching up your training, by the way? Because I always wondered how much boxing you did in the preparation for your UFC fights anyway. And obviously
Well,
with you and being a
yeah,
natural
you know,
striker.
boxing is different, very different. You know, you need to understand the concept and the technique and the position for your legs, your arms. You know, and it's a very interesting. I love boxing.
Yeah, it's interesting because just this past weekend, we saw Tyron Woodley make his jump over to boxing. And we saw that it wasn't maybe the easiest transition for Tyron to make from MMA. How big, like, how much of a difference is it for you in terms of actually going into the gym and conditioning your body for being able to go all those rounds and being able to
For
strike?
me, it's not big different because I training a lot. I training for many years, but it's interesting because every single day I learn something new one with little Nico, with my friend Eliezer, with my son Gabriel, with my coach Doria, uh, coach Nico, and the son for coach Doria is helping a lot. Luis Carlos is a very amazing coach and boxer too, you know, and these people help me a lot.
Let me ask you though, with this fight, people looking at obviously yourself with all your legendary knockouts and amazing moments in the UFC, and then Tito, obviously a guy who's known for his wrestling and not so much his striking. What do you think of Tito's striking, and what kind of challenge do you think he'll bring to you?
Well, you know, it's fighters fight. When you go inside the ring, go inside the cage, you need to prepare for war. And that's I do. That's I working hard and I try to do my best, you know.
What kind of challenges do you think he brings to you in the striking realm? Obviously, Tito's incredibly tough. He's obviously big.
Wow, it's a good challenge. You know, it's a good challenge. Chito is a legend. You know, he's a very good striking, and of course, his boxing is different, but it's a good challenge. You know, and it's a good experience for me and a good challenge for myself. You know, for check it out how much everything I learned with my coach worked in the day. You know.
Anderson, I was going to ask you, why is 195 pounds an important weight for you for this fight? Why did you decide to do it at 195 pounds? And do you have any hesitation that Tito might not be able to make that weight? Because he's actually quite a big guy. I know it was a bit of a struggle for him to make 205.
I normally I walk in 199, 190, you know, and that's the weight. I think is good for this fight, you know, because I'm not a big guy, I'm not heavy guy, you know, and it don't make sense for me fight in a, with the big guys, you know, and of course I fight, but it's not make sense, you know, and that's the decision my coach say that's the weight you need to propose for the promoters, and that's the weight. Don't do nothing stupid because it's not time for doing nothing stupid. You don't need prove nothing for nobody. Just working hard and training hard and stay in a good weight for you. and that's I accept the fight in the weight class.
Mm-mm. Do you have any concerns about Tito making the weight? Because obviously he hasn't weighed below
Well,
199.
I can't talking about that because that's not my side. Is the
Mm.
Tito side. I just signed a contract. Is in put on in everything in contract is 185. You make your weight. You done. Let's do it. That's the rules. That's the game.
If for whatever reason he wasn't able to make weight, would you still fight him? Would the fight still continue?
I mean, I don't know. That's not a question for me. That's the good question for my coach. And I try to working hard and keep my focus for my side, and we'll see.
I was going to go back for a sec, Anderson, to your incredible UFC career, because I know we have a lot of fans watching this across the world, and especially in Australia and New Zealand, who have so many great moments that you gave them all through your UFC run and your incredible MMA career. Me and Casper were there for UFC 200 when you came in and you kind of saved the card and you fought Daniel Cormier on a last minute's notice. And I remember that was a huge moment for a lot of fans, and it was just surreal to see that.
For
But
me too.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, dude, like, what's one of your favorite moments out of when you think back to that chapter of your career? What's one of your favorite moments that stands out to you?
Oh, the favorite moments in my career in the UFC. Wow, I have a lot. My
Hmm.
first fight with Heath Franklin is amazing. You know, my first fight with Chael, my fight with Dan Henderson. And yeah, I have the different fights in the different great moments inside the UFC.
What about the Vitor Belfort front kick? I mean, that's the image alone is
Yeah,
so
that's
iconic.
that's that's magic moment for me. It's not for me, for every single fan and every single person love UFC, love this fight. And that's stay in for the story. The front kick, the spider kick is stay in the story.
Mm. I know that you sort of spoke about how when you go in the octagon, I know obviously UFC run is done, but when you go to fight, you try and kind of you kind of try and almost bend what's possible, right? You try and kind of do like new things. Was there ever anything that you did in the octagon that surprised even yourself? Like when you looked back on it, you were like, oh man, like I can't believe that worked.
Wow, I have my fight with Tony Fryklund in Cage Rage.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, is insane because I watching the On Back movie, and I watching the Tony Jaa in the movements, the Tony Jaa and the On Back in the first movie, and I say, whoa, I love this man. I love the movement this guy do it. And I remember I take the pillow in my home, and I ask to my wife hold, and I say I go doing this elbow, and I say okay, stop it, go sleep. And the day in the fight, when I go to the fight, I'm in the room with my coach, and I say, you know what, I go using this elbow, coach, what do you think? I remember my coach and my partner in the same room and say, come on, man, go sleep, you tired, stop. In the moment in the fight,
Hmm.
I saw Tony freaking stop in the front of me, and I dropped the punch and I moved and I using the elbow. Bro, it's insane. That's the magic moment. And when I look at today, I say, wow, I don't believe I do that. That's crazy. But it's when you're training hard every day, and when you prepare your mind for challenge yourself, you don't try to prove nothing for anybody, you can do something special. And that's I say thank you God every day, and I continue working hard, for make magic moments in my life.
Yeah, that Tony Fryklund, that up elbow, that was crazy. So you're saying you didn't practice that move before, or did you do it a little bit in the gym? Or are you saying the first time you tried it was from Ong Bak with Tony Jaa?
Yeah, it's the first time.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, just quickly before you go, Dennis, I wanted to ask, you said something interesting. You said like when you go into fight and you don't look to prove anything to anybody else, that's kind of, when the magic happens. Is that your mentality? Like when you go into fight Tito, are you looking to prove anything to anybody, or is it just for you?
It's just in my side, that's I do for my entire life inside the sport, the combat sport. I never try to prove nothing for anybody. I try to enjoy the moment. And when I go inside the cage or inside the ring, I try to enjoy. I try to make something special for myself and prove how much I love my job, how much I love to stay inside the ring and do my job and take advantage of the moment, and that's I think the successful come, when you enjoy the moment, when you're working hard every day, when you wake up in the morning and putting your knees in the ground and say thank you God for everything, and let's go do it one more time, one more day, and give them the power for continue doing my job and continue inspiring people. That's my my side. That's I put in my mind. That's I using for my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think people obviously love you for your knockouts and for the incredible legacy that you have. But also, I think people love you for the fact that you were able to overcome such crazy adversity in your career. I mean, the broken leg and being able to come back and compete, and it's 2021, and you've got this new career in boxing that's about to start. I mean, we see, for example, Conor McGregor is trying to come back from a very similar injury. And although he's looking good physically, it looks like a very tough process to return. I'm wondering, like, when you were coming back from that broken leg, mentally, did you have to go through a process where you had to convince yourself you would be the same? And what would be like your advice, for example, to a Conor McGregor who's sort of going through a similar process right now?
Wow, it's tough when you're training in this level. It's very tough. When you prepare your mind, your body for a fight in this level, the same level I fought for many years, the same level Conor fight, the same level the guys fighting Weidman. It's tough. Everything is possible. Everything is because it's a fight. It's not. You don't go to joke inside this game. You go to war, and everything is possible.
How were you able to sort of convince yourself? And what was harder for you, the physical recovery or the mental recovery? Because I imagine the toughest part would be convincing yourself. Yeah,
both. It's tough. Both. Your mind. You need to stay ready and connect to your heart. To you make more power to continue challenge yourself and prove how much you love your job and how much you can continue do this when you have the same accident. I have the same Weidman, the same Conor. Mentally is very important.
yeah. And then like when you see Conor McGregor tweeting and he's arguing with Bisping and Daniel Cormier and stuff, and you got to feel for him. You feel like he can't be doing what he loves to be doing right now, which is obviously fighting. He's on the sidelines, and I imagine you have those thoughts of like, will I ever be the same? And maybe that's why we're seeing all these crazy tweets and arguments. What would be your advice to Conor while he's in this recovery process, probably wondering if he's ever going to be the same again?
Well, I think is for Conor right now is take time and continue work, continue doing the physiotherapy, continue work upper body, and stay mind outside the fight game. Just uh, uh, keep the focus in your recovery. And don't think about you go fight tomorrow or in 6 months. Just recover your body. Stay ready for prepare your mind for when you're back. You're back strong. You're back better. The other.
Mm. Just before we get off the UFC, Anderson, I just want to quickly get your thoughts on one of your other friends, Israel Adesanya, who you fought here in Melbourne in a classic fight. I'm wondering, man, now that you're out of the UFC and he's obviously the champion, who do you think is going to be one of his sort of biggest challenges that he hasn't fought yet? Because it's an interesting situation that he's in. You know, he's been able to beat some of the toughest guys in the division.
Wow.
But we've got Robert Whittaker and Darren Till and stuff in the motion as well.
I mean, let me tell you something very important. You know, Israel is the big champion. Have a lot of experience in kickboxing, and I don't see anybody can win and challenge Israel in your weight class. You know, probably in different weight class, but in 185, I don't think so.
He's been so dominant. How do you think the Robert Whittaker rematch plays out when Robert and Israel fight?
Wow, you know, it's a different game, but I think Israel is a top the game right now. You know, it is hard to talking about, you know, because Israel is proof for anybody why he's the champion in this weight class. It's a very hard to stay in this weight class, fighting in a good level. You know, I know because I'm there for 10 years. You know, but it's tough. It's very tough.
That's right, Anderson. It's tough. But you know what else is tough? Having to give up conventional cereal because it's full of sugar and carbs. Say no more, though, because life is different. Thanks, Cass, to Magic Spoon. Have a look at this. I have one of my favorite cereals here right now. This thing's unbelievable, man. When I was a kid, I loved nothing more than waking up in the morning, eating my favorite cereal, and going to school, going to university. But I couldn't do it anymore because it's full of sugar and carbs, Cass. I mean, it's impossible to stay in shape with these conventional cereals that put so much sugar and carbs into your body that you can't go out onto the beach in the summer.
Yeah, man, that's right. Just like you had to give up all the conventional cereals, even though they were delicious, that was in the past. That was a childhood thing of mine. As an adult, someone who's trying to look good, as you said, look good in summer, I just couldn't do it. But in comes Magic Spoon. Now, each serving comes with 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Also, only 140 calories. How crazy is that? You've got all these great best-selling flavors in the variety pack. You got cocoa, you got fruity, you got frosted, you got peanut butter. Very similar to your childhood cereals, minus the sugar. They've also got other great flavors such as cookies and cream, maple waffle, cinnamon, and blueberry. How fun is that? Now you can look good and eat delicious cereal minus all the sugar. It's keto-friendly, it's gluten-free, it's grain-free, it's soy-free, and it's low-carb. What's better than that? And the good friends at Magic Spoon are giving you a discount. Grab a variety pack and use the promo code SUBMISSION at the checkout to get $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/submission. They're also so confident in their product, it's backed with 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it, for any reason, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Click the link below, use the code SUBMISSION for $5 off, or go to magicspoon.com/submission to save $5 today. Now, while we're talking about a particular goat in Magic Spoon and cereal, we've got to talk to you about another goat real quick. And we're obviously talking to Anderson Silva, so it's goat season right now. The goats of ball trimming, and that is, of course, Manscaped with Lawnmower 4.0, the official sponsor also of the UFC and Little Old Submission Radio. So get your black belt in ball shaving this summer and or spring, wherever you are in the world, with the Performance Package 4.0. It's here to completely upgrade your male hygiene routine. With the Performance Package 4.0, you get the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, and 2 free gifts, which are the boxer briefs and the Shed travel bag. Don't shave your beans and have them looking as bloody as a Nate Diaz fight. Use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 with the skin-safe technology so you never have to cut yourself again. The 7,000 RPM of power, the 4,000 K LED light. It's got everything. This one has a travel lock. You just can't go wrong, can you, Dennis?
Nah, man, you can't. And with the code word submission, you get an extra 20% off and free shipping to anywhere in Australia or anywhere that you're listening right now. So jump on it right now and change your life with Manscaped and the code word submission today. But Anderson, I got to ask you, man, before we let you go, what did you think of Jake Paul's boxing? And what did you think of Tyron Woodley crossing over to boxing in his first boxing?
The guys make a good job. Tyron would make a good job. I think the Paul, Logan doing the hard job and working hard. And let me tell you something important. The Paul's brothers make the new opportunity for people thinking about the entertaining is not about prove nothing for anybody. It's just putting two big names inside the ring and doing the big show, And of course, you have the talk show. Logan talk a lot. Your brother talk a lot. But this is entertaining. This is good because in the final day, when you see the life for these two kids, it's a good guys. It's not bad people. It's just try to bring for every single person, especially your fans in a YouTube and in Instagram and everything, more entertaining. And I respect both, and I think the fight is very interesting. A lot of people talk Tyron would win, and a lot of people talk, oh no, Tyron would lost, but fighters fight. You can control inside the ring, but outside you can control nothing. You can control the judge, you can control the people talk. You can control your body and your mind inside the ring.
What did you think of Jake Paul's boxing ability and what we saw from him in the fight? Did you see improvements, and were you impressed with what he was able to do?
Well, the guy's working hard. The guy's make the job hard, and I think it's important to people fight with this both guys working hard. Take the training very serious because the kids prove it's not a joke. The kids not go inside the ring for joke, and everybody see that,
I was going to ask you, do you think that Tyron deserves the rematch with Jake? They had the fight. It obviously went Jake's way. Do you think Tyron deserves the rematch?
Oh, I think it's a good. A lot of people like to see the rematch, but I mean, the kid's working a lot, a lot of people, the people don't imagine how much pressure these kids have, especially right now. The kids prove everything is possible, in this entertaining game, and I think right now the kids, they need to rest, they need to relax, and when you're back, just take the good opportunity and fight. That's my opinion.
At the end of the fight, we know Brian Campbell brought you up to Jake as a potential next opponent. I'm wondering, man, if everything goes to plan against Tito, do you have a preference over which brother you could potentially fight, Logan or Jake? Or is it, and also, do you think that with a winner over Tito, maybe that's what we see next?
Well, I don't know. My focus right now is only in this fight with Tito and OC. I doing the step by step, and let's go see the last challenge. But right now, my focus is only in this fight for Tito Ortiz, and after that, I can see what's next and the next challenge in my life, in my side.
I just want to have one more thing that I want to bring up about those guys, and that is, and you mentioned it earlier, but I just want to get your thoughts on it one more time, just to get a little bit deeper into it. What they're doing for fighter pay. We saw the fighter pay come out just the other day. Jake Paul donated $1 million of his purse to a bunch of people on the card so they could make more money. They're bringing more attention to the sport. What do you think about what they're doing and bringing attention to fighter pay and also making sure that guys get paid? Guys like Tyron Woodley, who potentially make the biggest paydays of their life when they're fighting against these guys.
Well, it's a different sport. It's a different game. There's everything is bright new one. That's the the new entertaining, and the people like to see, and the people pay the fighters for make the show. That's the big show that people doing for the fans, and when you make the good show, of course you have a good pay game, paycheck, and that's I think the Post brothers doing right now, and give the opportunity for uh, everybody think about that,
Hmm.
and that's the I think is the new entertaining come, and a lot of people need to understand that, you know. And by the way, this a matter happen. This is an entertaining game.
Hmm.
It's not boxing the same level, the professional, amazing, and great boxers doing. That's a different level. That's not hunking. You don't have hunking. You don't have a title belt. It's only for entertaining. You know, and that's the different sport. That's the different level. It's boxing, but it's the different level. It's not the same level for Canelo or Triple G or Pacquiao. It's completely different. The people need to understand that.
Mm.
Yeah, and last question for me, Anderson. And obviously, you're fighting Tito. You've got that incredible win that just happened. What is your goal in boxing? Obviously, you mentioned there's the entertainment, but also I know all of you MMA fans, they want to see Anderson Silva with that boxing title around his waist. Is the goal to eventually try to get that belt, or are you just looking to have a bit of fun in boxing
Well,
at this
everything
point of
is
your career?
possible. That's I say. I everything is possible. I love challenge myself, but right now my focus is Tito Ortiz. In um, September 11th, we'll see, and what is the next step, and what is the next challenge.
Well, there you go, guys. Anderson Silva versus Tito Ortiz at Triller Fight Club, September 11th. It's going to be September 12th here in Australia and New Zealand due to the time difference. You've also got Oscar De La Hoya versus Vitor Belfort. You can watch it at trillerfightclub.com. Follow the man at Spider Anderson Silva. Anderson, what an honor, man. Thank you so much for taking the time with us, and good luck
Thank
in
you,
the
my
fight, man. The
friend.
best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Thank Australia. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Lots of love. Thanks, Anderson. Bye.